So we're going to begin in a comfortable seated spot. So you could be sitting on the floor or in an upright chair that doesn't actually support your back, but enables you to extend up nice and tall. And our class today is aimed at strengthening our awareness muscles. I never do this sort of little quotes, but it seems appropriate. If we have greater capacity for awareness, firstly of our own body, of our own state, of our energy state, of our mood, we're more sort of switched on and perhaps able to interpret messages that come from other people and to judge them more accurately and to make our own decisions and choices. Not going into any sort of specifics here, but the 6-week pre-election time is a bit of an overwhelm if disregarding everything else that might in the current situation. So our resilience is improved by building our capacity for awareness. So through class today, we'll be doing some movements that you might find a bit unexpected, mismatched arm movements. So be on the lookout for that. So when we have to really pay attention and focus on what we're experiencing, then our capacity to observe and distill and use our discrimination is enhanced. So I'll just say namaste and welcome. The class today is about our improving our awareness muscles. So from a comfortable seated position, I'm going to move to sit on the floor. I'm actually hobbling a bit. I've injured my foot, which is really annoying. Oh, I should change to speaker view, then it'll be better. So sitting upright, please. And take a few steady, slow breaths and observe what parts of your body are moving as you breathe. So make the breath comfortable and steady and full. Assess if there are any little spots that are taking your attention, and notice the quality of your energy. How does your energy feel at present? And the state of your mind, the mood, the presence of tranquility, equanimity, or otherwise. So keeping this sort of baseline score in mind at the start of the class, we'll do another assessment at the end. Now, if you're sitting in a chair, let your hands come to rest on the seat beside you. If you're on the floor, then hands to the floor. And then we'll take a breath in, raise the arms up, gently extend the spine and look up. And then slowly releasing, deflating, drop the chin. And again, inhale, raise both arms, look up, And exhale. Let your arms float back down. Lower the chin towards the chest. And 2 more at your own pace. Aiming for symmetry of movement. So observing if perhaps your arms tend to move at a different pace. Noticing any sensations in the neck and upper back. And release the arms down. Extend the spine up tall. Take a breath or two. Now we're going to begin mismatched arm movements. So please follow. So your eyes need to be open. I'm going to raise my right arm to the ceiling, left arm out to the side. Inhaling. And exhale. Back down to the floor. And this time left arm up, right arm forward. Looking up. Looking down. So keep following. Left arm out on a diagonal. Right to the side. Release down. And left arm up, right arm forward. Release down. Inhale, both arms up. And hold them up. And then exhale, lower the left arm. Take the right arm to the side. Inhale, both up. Right arm to cactus arm, left arm to the side. Inhale up. Right arm down, left arm front. And inhale, both arms up. And exhale, both arms down. Pause there. Give your shoulders a shrug. Sitting up tall. Notice how your shoulders and upper back feel. Take a little head turn to the left and the right. Sweep low across the chest, over towards the left. And then drop the chin, sweep across to the right. Come to the center. Lift the chin, look up. So activating the cervical muscles. And then exhale, lower the chin to the chest. Length in the back of the neck. And let it go. Next, I shall move on to hands and knees in a kneeling position. But if you prefer to stay by your chair, then you can just as easily work with your hands on the seat of the chair. We're going to do some, first of all, undulating cat stretch movements. So position your shoulders above wrists, hips above knees. Inhale, draw your chest forward. Waist is dipping down. And exhale, arch the spine up very high. Pull up the belly. Again, draw your chest forward. So sternum comes forward and through the shoulders. And then exhaling, lengthening through the lumbar as you draw the belly up. 2 more movements like that in your own pace. So undulating through the spine and the neck, from the tail all the way up to the base of the skull. Last one. Chin to chest, tucking the tail under. We're going to add a movement of the leg with mismatched arm movements. So take your right leg back and your left arm forward, or if you prefer, just one limb. So if your balance is a bit wobbly, then choose to move just one limb. Now we're going to take the left leg back and the right arm out to the side. So trying to raise the left leg to the height of your hip and then release down to the floor. This time, right leg and left arm in cactus. So the left elbow is bent, right leg hip height. Exhale, release to the floor. Left leg and right arm down by the hip. So reach back with that right hand. And back to the mat. And then right leg, left arm forward. And release. Sink back towards the heels in child pose. Let your body sink down into the support of the floor. So you're softening down into the ground. And I shall come all the way down to lie flat, facing down. If you prefer to keep working on your chair, please do that. Again, we're going to have mismatched movements. So you have to really listen carefully and pay attention. I'm going to take a breath in, bring my right arm forward and lift the left leg. And release. And now raise the right leg straight and keep left arm reaches back towards the feet. So chest is lifted, right leg, left arm reaching back. Release. This time, right arm out to the side, lifting the left leg. Release. Right leg, but with knee bent. And left arm forward. Release. Left arm forward, right arm forward, left knee bent. So you're lifting the left leg with the foot to the ceiling. Release. And then take both arms out wide to the side and lift both legs. And release. And then back to a comfortable resting position. Child pose once again. Or if you're hovering close to your chair, then make yourself comfortable on the seat of your chair. And from the floor or from the chair, we're going to do axial extension. That is extending the spine very long. So if you're working on the floor, come to lie on your back. if you're working from a chair, then sit on your chair. Arms are by your side, feet hugging in, knees hugging into the chest. And then we're going to take the right arm behind the head, push the left foot up to the ceiling. And release. And then right foot to the ceiling, left arm behind the head. And release. Now, right arm out to the side, palm turned up, left foot to the ceiling, and make a little circle with that raised left leg. And release. Arm back by side, knees to the chest. And left arm behind, right foot to the ceiling. Make a little circle with the whole straight leg. And release. Hug the knees, rock a little from side to side. Let the feet come to the floor, pause there, see how you feel. So if you're working from a chair, you can raise one foot from the floor when we're taking our leg to the ceiling. So I'll demonstrate this time from the chair. So if you're lying on the floor, you can continue. We'll be repeating much the same movements. So if you're lying on the floor, hug your knees, and then we'll inhale, take the right leg to the ceiling and the left arm behind the head. So if you're in a chair, pushing out through the sole of the foot and reaching up with the arm, then release. And now opposite limbs, left foot and right arm reaching behind the head. Release. This time, arms out to the side and right foot to the ceiling. And release. And arms to the side and left foot to the ceiling or pushing out in front if you're on a chair. Release. We're going to take the left arm behind the head, right foot to the ceiling with a little circling of that leg. So if you're in a chair, lift your foot from the floor, keep the knees straight and circle. And release. And then the same with opposite limbs. Left foot, right arm, circle that left leg around. It's surprisingly difficult when you're sitting on a chair. Then release, hug the knees, little rocking. And then carefully make your way to standing. So we're going to continue this idea of unpredictable movements. So it's not a pattern that we usually use, and we have to keep alert. Let's begin with some squatting action. Well, first of all, circle. Hands on the hips, circling around to mobilize the lower spine. And then some tilting in a lateral plane. So keep the spine loose, as though you're simply feeling your way through space. Is my spine comfortable to make these lateral movements? How does it feel in my back? And if I were to add a lifting of the outside arm, how does that change things? So lift right above the crown of your head. And in the arm which is lifting, hold a mudra where your thumb holds the ring finger and the little finger. So you have two fingers pointing. So reach that pointing action over and stay here. Take another breath in. Bring the energy all the way down through the side of your chest and release. And do the same on the other side. So thumb holding ring finger and little finger, and reach, sweep up, over, and breathe in through that mudra. And release the arm down. Let's do that again. So hold the mudra. I'll have to look up the name, it escapes me. Two fingers pointing, inhale. Reach across and bring energy and breath, bring prana down into your chest, into your hip. Let it go. One more on this side. So sweep up, reach out, bring breath, life force into the body. And release down. Shrug the shoulders. Bring your feet under the hips and parallel. Take a breath in, raise both arms to the ceiling, and then squat. So take your hips well back so the knees remain behind the line of your toes. Two more breaths. And then lower the arms, sweep them out to the side, and then lift yourself up. Reach up to the ceiling and straighten. And then hands come down by your sides. We'll repeat that one. So inhale. Stretch tall. Exhale, squat into chair pose, or horseman's, it's sometimes called. Make sure your weight is even, left and right foot. And then release the arms down and then lift them out to the sides. Reach out as far as you can so your chest is wide. Two breaths here. And then turn the palms up and lift yourself up very tall to the ceiling. And relax the arms down. Take a breath in and out. Inhale now to cactus arms. So elbows at shoulder height. Take a breath in and squat. So folding at the hip joints. And keep the left arm still and take the right arm to the side. Back into cactus. Keep the right arm still and take the left arm down by your hip. Reach it back behind you. Bring the left arm back to cactus. Lower the arms down by your sides and sweep up all the way up to the ceiling. Straighten up tall and let it go. Lower the arms, roll your shoulders. Let's keep going. Inhale, both arms sweep up. Exhale, arms to shoulder level and squat. Move most of your weight to the right foot. So just lift your left heel off. 2 more breaths. Keeping that right leg very steady. And now left heel down, weight on the left foot. Right heel lifts. Keep your arms out strongly. And then lower the right heel, lower the arms, and then use the arms to lift all the way up to the ceiling and down by your sides. And roll the shoulders. Take a little easy Kati Chakrasan. And take your feet slightly wider and sweep across in a big stretch and reach as far as you can. One arm behind the hips as you reach across in front. And reach and stretch. So feel how your spine rotates a little. Quite a lot, probably. Slow it down so that you're more aware of the rotation that's happening. And then gently come back to stillness. Stand in Tadasana. Lift your gaze to look directly in front. And think about whether you need to draw your head back a little. Instead of that tendency to drop forward in a forward slumping position. Tadasana is a time to restore upright posture. So our pelvis is stacked above the 2 feet. Rib cage stacked above the pelvis. Head nicely balanced above that vertical column. So through your day, it's good to make that little check of getting out of the forward busy posture to upright, clear, vertical posture. Now let's keep going with some variations of Warrior One. What else? Take a few breaths. We're going to step forward with our right foot. So allow your left foot to turn out a little. If you'd like to have a chair handy, that's perfectly fine. So again, we're going to use some unpredictable arm movements. So listen carefully and watch if you need to watch as well. So we're going to take right arm to the side, left arm to the ceiling. Inhale, bend the front knee. Right arm reaches out at shoulder level, left hand to the ceiling. Turn your left hand so the palm faces to the midline. And let it go. Right knee bends, right arm to the ceiling, left arm into cactus position. Turn your right palm so the palm faces out. and let it go. Bend your right knee, left arm reaches back, right arm out to the side. And release. Bend your right knee, take both arms up with the palms facing to the ceiling. Hold for a few breaths. Lift your gaze a little. And release. Arms come down, front leg straightens. Let your weight swing gently in Kati Chakrasana. So hopefully you're paying really close attention and feeling how each movement requires a new decision. Nothing happens just by rote. Okay, let's step the left foot forward. Feel your feet to be grounded, your legs to be strong. We're going to take the left arm to the side, right arm to cactus. Inhale, open the chest, strong through the back hip. And let it go. Left arm to the ceiling, right arm back behind. Feel the work in the upper back. And release. Palms together overhead. Bend the front knee. Press the palms together. They might be low, just above your head or in front of your eyes, or they might be stretching up as high as you can go. Feel the effect in your posture. And release. Clasp both hands behind, not your habitual clasp. Interlock the fingers the other way. Bend the front knee. Draw the shoulders back. And release. And we'll take a back arch and then a forward bend. So hands around the hips, thumbs securely pressing in. Take a breath, move your hips forward, elbows back. Squeeze the buttocks and maybe feel under your thumbs as those muscles contract. And contracting the buttocks enables you to loosen the front. Let's try that again. So paying particular attention, maybe you need feet just a little bit wider. I do. I'm going to tighten the buttocks, relax and lengthen in the front. Let it go. Tuck the chin, massaging the backs of the legs as you come down into Uttanasana, forward bend. And you might like to bend one knee, jiggle your hips a little bit. And then we'll bring the hands to the inside of the feet and we're going to unwind, massaging the inner legs, inner knees, inner thighs, and gradually standing up tall. Hands slide up over the chest, cross over to elbows. Take the right arm to the ceiling, the left arm to the side. And let it go. Once again into your back arch. Squeeze the buttocks. opening back through the so as the abdomen, and then release, tuck the chin, massage the backs of the legs, working on those meridians, massage all around your ankles, massage the tops of your feet, and find that little acupressure point, which is in the valley between the first two toes, the big toe and the next one, about a centimeter or so in from the junction. Press down there, massage. And then bring your fingers to the inside arches, inside ankles, unwinding, sliding up the inside thighs, over the belly, cross over the chest, but with the other hand on top. And slide up. Take your hands behind the back of your skull. Massage across top of your neck muscles. So base of the skull. And then bring your hands to the hairline, and we're pushing the fingers in and dragging them apart as though you're opening up spaces in the bones, making a feeling of more space in your skull. So your forehead is sort of lifting and spreading broader, and you're working all around the hairline. And then come to the eyebrow center, and much more lightly now, drawing your fingers apart. So fingers together at the eyebrow center, and then lightly pulling out across the eyebrows. Just feel how that affects the sensation in your head. And come down, massage around your temples. 2 fingers massaging around the temples. And then pressure circling around behind the ears. And give your ears a tug. So first of all, fingers to the top of the ear, lifting and pulling. Then go to the middle, the sort of outer edge, and pull out. We don't want big flappy ears, but it's very stimulating for the acupressure points there. And now the base of the lobe, pulling down, tugging down. And come into a balance. Choose a balance. If you'd like to have your chair close by or a wall, then perhaps just a very simple tree pose. I'm standing on my right foot, my left heel is resting on my right ankle. Very quietly, raise your arms to the position that just seems right. A little gentle correction to your vertical upright posture. So you're sensing, am I tall and upright? And hold for a few breaths. So easing your stacking so that those blocks of your trunk are fully vertical. And if you'd like to move into Warrior 3, taking that left leg back behind you, you could do that. So very subtle, careful adjustment. Let the trunk tilt forward. Lift the left leg back. And when you're ready, gently release, bring your left foot down. Very small releasing movements. So you don't want to disturb the internal state of your mind. So our balance helps us to bring our thoughts internally. Our awareness has to be really carefully guided to help us balance. Let's take it on the second side. So begin as you wish in a tree pose version. Maybe your right heel's resting on the left ankle. And then just begin to lift up tall, a tall, straight tree. Lift your gaze and make any subtle correction that helps you to balance. How should you hold your hips to create more stability? How can you hold your head to feel easier in the neck and the shoulders? And if you wish to move into warrior 3 with arms a bit lower, tilting the trunk forward and lifting your right leg back, then do that. Very small adjustments, slow, subtle changes. Feeling every little correction, every little shift, the effect it has on your balance. And then gently release, bring your foot back to the floor. Small, soft, repetitive movements to ease the spine, the shoulders. Make your way to the floor if you wish. We're going to lie flat and do some particular awareness of breathing. So you can set up in your Shavasana resting position, and we will be placing the hands on the body in different places. So I shall sit so you can hear me better, but I invite you to lie flat with your support, or if you prefer, to sit in your chair, your upright chair. I'd invite you to place your hands on your upper chest. So place your arms in such a way that your upper arms are supported on the floor and your hands are just quite close to your collarbones. And feel the breath movements. And breathe now in such a way that the movement up near your collarbones happens first. Accentuate the upper chest breath. So the rest of your chest might be moving, but you're really aiming to expand fully the upper ribs. Maybe feel that your collarbones move a little closer to your head. It takes a lot of awareness. It's not our usual breathing pattern. It's akin to our hot air balloon breathing pattern. So it's a deliberate expansion of the upper ribs. And see if you can continue for a few more, but slow down. Slow your breath with focus on expanding up under your hands. So you're controlling the way you're breathing, even if that feels not quite natural. And then release your arms, pause, see how you feel after that. And then reposition, fingers now over your lowest ribs. So you can feel the curve of the base of the rib cage. And breathe in a way that accentuates movement of this region. So you're inflating and expanding those low ribs and deflating, feeling them come back in a relaxation. It's a passive release of active expansion. So as you inhale, actively spread those low ribs and then exhale and deflate your low ribs. Make the breath slow and under your conscious control. Low rib breath. And then relax, let your arms rest. And now place your hands on your belly. This time we'll be consciously aiming to expand that region. So it will happen because your diaphragm's pushing down. So inhale, actively displace your stomach and liver so they rise up. And exhale, deflate. Work with that. Inhale. You can feel that belly rising movement. And then it releases. Slow and steady. And allow enough time for the exhalation. And after that, relax your arms by your sides. And we'll put those 3 actions together in a 3-part breath, starting with the belly rising, the mid chest, the low ribs, and then the upper chest. So these 3 actions, one after the other, as you inhale. And exhale in the same order. First, deflate the belly, deflate the low ribs, deflate the upper ribs. Slow and steady. First, belly rising on the inhale. Middle chest, upper chest. And deflate in the same order. Belly, low ribs, upper ribs. Do 3 more rounds. So focus on that breath cycle. Consciously controlling. Smoothing it out. And after your 3 breaths, then let it go. Notice how you feel. And then gently prepare to come to sit. We're going to do a seated meditation about our thoughts, watching our thoughts, with seeing what happens when we watch our thoughts. So take some easy movements, and you can choose whether you'll come to sit for our meditation in a chair or on the floor. Or if you prefer, you may continue to lie down. So in this meditation, I invite you, rather than aiming to quieten the mind, just to allow any thought that passes into your mind and to observe and notice what comes. And you're observing as closely as a mouse would watch, a cat would watch a mouse hole. You know, you've seen those cartoons where the cat sits watching the mouse hole. We're sitting very alert, watching the thoughts that pass into our mind. And when any thought comes, it's very often thoughts, one of 4 different categories. It might be something about the past, 10 minutes ago, or 10 days ago, or 10 years ago. So, and we will just tag that as a past thought. Or it might be present. My hip is hurting, or I feel a bit cold, or I need to water the garden. No, that's a future one. Something that's happening right now, in maybe in the space you're in your room, the light is too bright, or I need a cardigan, that's tagged as a present thought. If it's a thought about the future, something that you're planning or something that interests you to do tomorrow, or something on your to-do list, something that you know is going to happen very soon, you tag that as a future thought. Or if it's a thought that doesn't really have any time frame connected at all, such as, it'd be really nice if I could go for a swim, but it's impossible. It'd be interesting. I'd really like to. I'd spent more time with my auntie. So it's not really a concrete thought about a particular time. So that would be an unattached thought. So we have thoughts past, thoughts of the present, thoughts of the future, or unattached. That's how we're going to categorize. So we're going to sit for a few minutes, observe thoughts as they come into your mind. So and you're watching like that cat wafts into your mind, tag it as belonging to the past or to the present, to the future, or unattached in time. So sitting upright, we'll stay for a few minutes and you'll hear the sound of my gong. And we'll have a brief chat about which category of thoughts seem to happen mostly to you. So relaxing shoulders and neck and face. Your mind is free. And put a tag when a thought comes, past, present, future, or unattached. Sometimes we get sort of caught up with one line of thinking. So if you notice that that happens, tag it and then detach from that line of thinking. Set your mind free again. And tag the next thought. So you're really paying attention. Not drifting off, not trying to relax. Allowing your mind freedom to play. And gently come back again and observe for you, were your thoughts mostly thoughts of the past events? Were they immediate impressions of present? Were they more tending to something that in the future, or with no particular time? Often, as individuals, we favour one line of thing, one type of thought, where that's our tendency, that's our samskara, that's our natural tendency to deal, to involve our mind with thoughts of that are predominantly of one of those categories. And it's useful to know what's your mental tendency. It's not that one is right and one is wrong, but that being in the present moment, responding to your direct experience is keeps you functioning in the present moment. So rather than extrapolating, what if, or reaching out into the future, something awful could happen, or hanging back in the past with past events, your early childhood environment, or other, past dramas, or being sort of floating around free form, responding to direct experience. What is my body happening? What am I feeling now? How's my energy now? Where's my mind now? So just do a little reassessment. We started with a quick check, a scan. So once again, scan your physical body and reassess the quality of your energy. And your mind state. Work out how you feel. So the purpose of my class today was to help you to realize that when we can respond to unexpected events, something as simple as, one arm in cactus and one arm doing something different, that's a physical challenge, which is very simple, but it changes our ability to adapt. It changes our capacity to be okay with ambiguity or uncertainty. So I think that's quite a useful lesson to learn. Thank you for sharing our class. Meryl's going to take us out today. Over to you, Meryl. Please turn on your microphone.
How's that?
You're on.
Right. Okay. Last week at one stage.
Sit close to the microphone so we have a good volume.
How's that?
Good.
At one stage last week, Pam, during the lesson, made the comment about knowing who we are. And that really grabbed me. And it grabbed me yes. And I thought about a poem, as always is a poem, thought about a poem that I had recently read by a lady called May Sarton, who I don't know much about. I barely, yes. But anyhow, it's a poem that I think is very useful. And I've been thinking about this a little bit during the week. And I'm in a situation where I'm having to take a medication which seems to be making me not the person I want to be.
Oh.
And yes, anyhow, all sorts of questions about that one. But, and this morning I was reading, as I've read many times before, that there's about loving yourself. And I thought, well, this is a challenge because I don't know that I like this self at times. And,
yep.
But during that time, just as we were doing that last thing, I suddenly thought perhaps I could write above myself, "Bless this mess," because that's how I feel. Perhaps that might be a start if I could bless the mess. So anyhow, it's an ongoing thing, but I'll read the poem. And the other thing is that I'm sure May Sarton didn't ever do any yoga, but to me, it's talking about a Tavasana. It's doing so, which because during yoga and during meditation, I often do feel that I know who I am. So it does feel pretty good. So it says, now I become myself. Now I become myself. It's taken time, many years and places. I have been dissolved and shaken, worn other people's faces, run madly as if time were there, terribly old, crying a warning. Hurry, you will be dead before what? Before you reach the morning? Or the end of the poem is clear. Or love safe in the walled city. Now to stand still, to be here, feel my own weight and density. The black shadow on the paper is my hand. The shadow of a word as thought shapes the shaper, falls heavy on the page, is heard. All fuses now, falls into place, from wish to action, word to silence. My work, my love, my time, my face, gathered into one intense gesture of growing like a plant, as slowly as the ripening fruit, fertile, detached, and always spent, falls but does not exhaust the root. So all the poem can give, grows in me to become the song, made so and rooted by love. Now there is time, and time is young. Oh, in this single hour, I live all of myself and do not move. I, the pursued who madly ran, stand still, and stop the sun. Now
Thank you.
Yeah.
Can you scan it and email it to me? I'm sure others would like to read it again.
Yes,
it's a powerful message there.
Yeah, and I think the standing still is in yoga is where I sometimes get to know myself.
Well, that's quite a brilliant insight. So thank you so much, Meryl. And any takers for next week, we'll be back same time. You'll have a nice little Easter break in between. I do hope that you have a very lovely and safe Easter and stay well.
Thank you.
So give me a wave if you think you'd like to take us out in the final segment of our class next week. If not, then it'll be up to me. So I'll see you same time next week.
Thanks, Pam.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, Pam. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Travel
Thanks,
safely,
Beryl.
Jill.
Yes,
Jill's
thank you.
traveling to Melbourne.
Yes. Right.